guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, this is Late Nights with Santana. This is a panel discussion. So I see trolls already hopping in the request. This is not a debate. No, thank you. As far as the trolls, we have no interest in people who think that this is going to be a debate. This is not a debate, guys. This is not a debate. This is a panel discussion. We are dealing with the topic as far as deconstructing religion, right? So if you are interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and get up here. This is a panel discussion. If you are someone that are hoping to debate, come back tomorrow. Hello. Guys, if you don't mind, tap the screen, share the live. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. Let's get the likes up to 10,000 likes. Also, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It will boost the live and push us out to the FYP. I know that we have not had a live today. So, most people have not had an opportunity to send their daily heart me's. So go ahead and send your daily heart me. Last but not least, guys, keep knocking out the daily gift goal. Right now, it's the little creepers. If you don't mind, please knock out the little creepers. But we're going to go ahead and get started. But you guys know what we do. Let's kick it off right.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late Nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late Nights truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures. But the real ones listen before they rebuttal.
Late Nights with Santana.
Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this is purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah, Late Nights with Santana. You already knew. Late Nights with Santana. Late nights, no static, no highlight reel, just the soul's reflection. No shade throwing, just connection. From streetwise truths to deep reflections, we turn hard talks into blessings. They say they run the game, we build new rules. We here to heal, uplift, and break the old rules. They kept us boxed in, divided by fear, but you find us lined up when the truth appears. Yeah, weekly topics, hearts wide open, no judgment.
Just motion.
Real ones are talking, no cussing.
Cause Mama Jones
watching, no fronting. Yeah,
Late Nights with Santana.
You already knew.
Late Nights with Santana.
Late nights, no static. Yeah, Mama Jones watching,
so keep it
grown. Ain't about flexing, this is purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this is purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Weekly topics, hearts wide open, no judgment.
Just motion.
Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah, Late Nights with Santana. You already knew. Late Nights with Santana.
Hey, welcome in, guys. Welcome in. And welcome into Late Nights with Santana. This is a panel discussion, and this week our topic has been deconstructing from religion. And so this is night 4 of this conversation. And guys, this is it. This is the last night. So if you are someone who is interested in speaking to this, if you want to join this conversation, you got to get up here. This is the last opportunity to have the conversation on this topic. Again, this is a panel discussion, so any and everyone is welcome. Once you get up here, please be ready to join the conversation. But before we go any further, I have to introduce my amazing co-host who has been killing it, not resurrecting it, but just absolutely killing it all week. The illustrious Jeff from End of a Species. What up, bro?
Today's a good day. I'm a little tired. Oh shoot. There's an echo.
Hold on. I know why. Give me 2 seconds. Guys, while I fix this echo, if you don't mind, can you please, again, continue to tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to the little 1 cent gift goals. That'll help push us out to the FYP. Share the live maybe once or twice. That's super helpful. But more than sharing the live, guys, more than sharing the live, the best thing that you can do is actually reposting the live. That helps a lot. So if you just go, yes, we want you to share the live, go to where you share the live. But if you click the actual, and it's the little repost button, if you do that, that does so much more. So please, 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 actually repost the live. And with that being said, Jeff, floor is yours.
All right. Yeah, the echo's gone. I'm a little tired today because I didn't take my old man nap, but y'all are gonna energize me because this is the last night, so we can't go out sleepy. We got to go out with a bang.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Jeff. Hey, tell the people really quick before we start to bring people up. What are we going to be talking about this evening?
All right, so today is not for the faint of heart. We've talked about all the prep work and everything for deconstruction. So today we're going to talk about critical thinking and how do you know your beliefs are real. This is just for people who actually want to examine beliefs, uncover uncomfortable truths, just how to dissect things, right? So I don't really want to go too far in the weeds with debate stuff. This is going to be very high level, very simple. But I want us to start thinking outside the box and start thinking about how do we approach all of these. And look, this is even for people who weren't raised with religion. This is just examining your worldview from that perspective, right? So I want people to start getting your mind ready to think outside the box and examine the religious biases you might have, the presuppositions you bring to the table, that kind of thing. It's going to be fun. Just trust that, we're going to have fun doing it. Mm-hmm. But if at any point, and I have to do this disclaimer because we've 6 hours of talking in roundtable discussions, I don't think is enough for anybody who's not ready. If at any point you hear anything about something, you feel that little tingle in the back of your head, swipe off. I do not want you to start really looking at information that you're not ready to look at or confronting information that you're not ready to have. So 100% just keep a mental inventory for yourself. And like I said, we're gonna have fun.
All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few people in here. And guys, if you could, please make sure when you come in, mute yourself. Make sure when you come in, you mute yourself. Please and thank you. When you come in, make sure you mute yourself. Also, just an FYI, if you're over on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and you would like to join the conversation, you can do so by clicking the link. You don't have to actually leave where you are. The only thing you have to do is just click the link and it will bring you over into the conversation based off of the app that you're on. All right. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start bringing people up. And as I bring you up, please mute yourself. Welcome in, Solid Raid. And yes, someone said, can anyone join? Yes. Anyone can join the conversation. You just got to get up here. I'm going to try to grab a couple of the people that I know have been in the box for the last couple of evenings first, who's been trying to get up here. I'm going to get them up here first, and then we'll try to move through as many people as possible to ensure that as many people as we can get up here have an opportunity to get up. But if you would like a surefire way to get up here and to join the conversation quicker, head over to YouTube. YouTube has no line. So if you're over on YouTube, Twitch, or Instagram, you can go ahead and get up here a lot quicker. All right. We're going to go around and we're going to do a quick introduction, guys. Really quick, just a few lines. And then after that, we're going to get into the conversation. So I'm going to start with Miss Donna. Hey, Miss Donna, how are you? Miss Donna, I sent you there you go. Hey, how are you?
Got it.
Hey, Hey, Santana, how are you tonight?
Good. Miss Donna, can you tell the people, I know you told me the other night, but can you tell the people, what is your current relationship with religion?
Total, I don't want to say agnostic or anything like that, but I'm more spiritual. I'll put it like that, more spiritual. I was born and raised Catholic.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. One moment. KB, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. KB, can you tell the people, what is your current relationship with religion?
Yeah, currently I would say that I believe in God, but don't align with religion itself. So
Okay. Perfect. All right. One moment. Bliss, how are you?
Oh, hello, I'm good. How are you, Santana?
Wonderful. Bliss, can you tell the people, what is your current relationship with religion?
I am an atheist. I grew up with my mom. She was Jehovah's Witness, and then my dad's side of his family were Catholic. So I kind of tiptoed between the two growing up until I realized that there's hypocrisy on both ends, and none of the people that I was looking to set good examples, or you just find holes in both, or whatever religion that you're following. So, yeah.
I can definitely understand that.
It's like one extreme for another between Catholicism and Jehovah's Witness.
I can definitely understand that. All right, perfect. All right, one moment. Just Jordan, like you swiped out, you got a kind of funky signal. Are you still there, Jordan? I'm gonna mute you, Bliss.
Yeah, Jordan, I'm here. Can you hear me?
You're a whole teacup with bars.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're just a teacup with bars right now.
Okay, am I back
you were
now?
there a second ago, but then.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you want to try to drop down and come right back up? I was about to say, I'll hold your spot for you.
Yeah, let me try that.
Okay.
Yeah, let me try that. Hold on.
Yep, no worries. And let's see here. Boom. We got Natalie over on YouTube. Hey, Natalie, how are you? Natalie?
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes. Natalie, can you tell the people, what is your current relationship with religion?
It's currently Buddhist.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Just a moment. And last but not least, Jordan, how are you?
I'm good, Santana. How are you doing?
Good. W's in chat for Rachel. Jordan, can you tell the people, what is your current relationship with religion?
Yeah. So right now I would consider myself like agnostic spiritual. And I was raised, like Kojic, Southern Baptist, etc., like that kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with religion right now.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. That was not supposed to be playing. Anyway, all right. So we are going to go ahead and get into this, guys. Before we go too far, really quick, just a reminder for the people on the panel, guys, please be mindful and use TikTok friendly language. What does that mean? That means we want to use like words like pew pew, unalive, mustache man, C19, all of those things that I don't know what the sound was. I heard a sound and I was like, what is that? All of those things, sorry, that will not only protect your TikTok, but it will protect the live as well. And guys, just a reminder, this is a safe and friendly community. What does that mean? That means that we don't deal with any of the isms, racism, sexism, classism. We also don't do any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia, none of that. We don't play that on the panel nor in the chat. Speaking of the chat, please do not use caps. Guys, please do not use caps. Caps are for mods. It will draw my attention away from the panel and to the chat. And we want to be able to have these conversations. So guys, please do not use caps. With that being said, I do need you guys to be active participants. What does that mean? It means, thank you, Eli. Hi, Eli. How are you? You're good. Anyway, we do need you guys to be active participants. So tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart meet. It's only one coin. It will boost the live and push us out to the FYP. And also, I'm going to keep resetting the daily gift goal to these little 1 cent gift goals. If you can knock those out a couple of times, that will boost the live and push us out to the FYP as well. I'm just going to say this right now. Like, I don't know if you guys think trolling is funny. Mods, if there's people that are intentionally using caps after I just said that, block them. Like, don't even mute them. Block them. I don't know if they think this is a game or whatever, but I don't play stupid games and win stupid prizes. Regardless, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Jeff, you have something that you want us to hear. I got it queued up and ready. I want you to let us know what we're about to do, and then you tell me when to go.
All right. So, yeah, this is one of those uncomfortable truths. And I want everybody to tell me, especially everybody on the panel, what they think about when they hear this. So this is something that was written by Richard Furman in 1820. And he was a part of the Southern Baptist Church. So he was representing the church when he wrote this. I took a snippet out of it. Santana, if you want to drop that link later in the Discord, people can see the entire thing.
Yep,
but I just took the script. So what I did was I took the scriptural snippet, and there's just a computer voice reading it, so that it's very neutral, right? And so Santana, I want you to play it, and then I want us to like sit in it for a second, whether you're Christian or not, and then just talk about this specific writing that was done in 1820.
All right, we're going to play this, guys. It's going to be a couple of minutes, but as we listen, again, continue to tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things. Here we go.
For the right of holding slaves is clearly established by the Holy Scriptures, both by precept and example. In the Old Testament, the Israelites were directed to purchase their bondmen and bondmaids of the heathen nations, except they were of the Canaanites, for these were to be destroyed. And it is declared that the persons purchased were to be their bondmen forever, and an inheritance for them and their children. They were not to go out free in the year of Jubilee, as the Hebrews, who had been purchased, were, the line being clearly drawn between them. See Leviticus 25, 44, 45, 46, etc. In example, they are presented to our view as existing in the families of the Hebrews as servants or slaves, born in the house or bought with money, so that the children born of slaves are here considered slaves as well as their parents. And to this well-known state of things as to its reason and order, as well as to special privileges, St. Paul appears to refer when he says, "But I was free-born." In the New Testament, the gospel history, or representation of facts, presents us a view correspondent with that, which is furnished by other authentic ancient histories of the state of the world at the commencement of Christianity. The powerful Romans had succeeded in empire the polished Greeks, and under both empires, the countries they possessed and governed were full of slaves. Many of these, with their masters, were converted to the Christian faith and received, together with them, into the Christian church, while it was yet under the ministry of the inspired apostles. In things purely spiritual, they appear to have enjoyed equal privileges, but their relationship as masters and slaves was not dissolved. Their respective duties are strictly enjoined. The masters are not required to emancipate their slaves, but to give them the things that are just and equal, forbearing, threatening, and to remember they also have a master in heaven. The servants under the yoke, upozougon douloi, bond servants or slaves. Doulos is the proper term for slaves. It is here in the plural and rendered more expressive by being connected with yoke, under the yoke. Bond servants or slaves, mentioned by Paul to Timothy as having believing masters, are not authorized by him to demand of them emancipation or to employ violent means to obtain it. but are directed to account their masters worthy of all honor, and not to despise them because they were brethren in religion, but the rather to do them service because they were faithful and beloved partakers of the Christian benefit. Similar directions are given by him in other places and by other apostles. And it gives great weight to the argument that in this place, Paul follows his directions concerning servants with a charge to Timothy as an evangelist to teach and exhort men to observe this doctrine. Had the holding of slaves been a moral evil, it cannot be supposed that the inspired apostles, who feared not the faces of men and were ready to lay down their lives in the cause of their God, would have tolerated it for a moment in the Christian church, if they had done so on a principle of accommodation in cases where the masters remained heathen to avoid offenses and civil commotion. Yet surely, where both master and servant were Christian, as in the case before us, they would have enforced the law of Christ and required that the master should liberate his slave in the first instance. But instead of this, they let the relationship remain untouched, as being lawful and right, and insist on the relative duties.
All right.
There we
go.
So, I mean, I guess we can go around, and I don't bring this up to say, to make any moral judgment. I just want to know, what your thoughts are after hearing that.
Okay. Let's start with Natalie. Natalie, Natalie, I know you had to drop for a moment, but you came back. From what you heard from that reading, the excerpt from the Bible, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so this is a big topic in some of the lives, some of the debates that I've seen and heard. And some of them say it wasn't the same slavery as today. It was a different form of slavery. And I think that's what some of that was saying. There was like a bondage type and a violent type, and then there was this type. And slavery, period, to me is not okay. And I think it was probably something that I didn't realize till long after I deconstructed that this was even in the Bible. So, I mean, my thoughts, it's very difficult to get Christians or believers to take a look at that and put their ideals on it because they try to defend it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it.
Absolutely. Miss Donna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just acknowledging good thoughts.
Miss Donna, what did you think about the clip?
That was really deep because during the beginning, like I had said the other night, Santana and Jeff, my deconstruction really came with mental health. And I had a therapist who understood where I was. And she was the one that pointed out a lot of this to me. And it flipped my wig, being honest that so much promotion of slavery was in the Bible. I didn't know prior to that.
Okay. KB, what was your response to that clip?
Okay, I'm going to be honest here. That is the first time I had heard that. And my dad is a pastor. I know that it was talked about in scripture, but I never I don't recall ever reading that. I'm not shocked whatsoever. Part of my deconstruction has just been kind of like I said, I really don't, if you were to ask me, no, I'm not religious. Do I believe in God or a higher power? Yes. And the whole scripture thing is really muddy for me just with how people use it to disenfranchise people. So but just being honest, I had not dug deep into that other than surface, but I'm not shocked.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
You know, one thing that jumped out of what you said is what you said at the end there. And like, I see people in the chats, one person at least said that it's hard to judge a verse when it's taken out of context. So I'll just address that real quick, but I don't want to go too far down this line. The context is these are just laws, right? Like the Levitical laws are just laws, but that's not the point. And I don't want to judge scripture, because that's a different conversation. The reason I brought this up is because of exactly what you just said, which is how people use it, right? Because like, I don't want to tell anybody to say like, hey, when you read scripture or when you read the Bible, when you read whatever holy book is for your religion, you have to read it a certain way or engage with it a certain way. There are ways I'd prefer, right, that people look at it like through academic lens, but I can't force you to do that. The point is to understand how people use it so that you can kind of change how you like be aware of how you engage with text like this. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah.
Okay. And last but not least, Jordan, what did you think about that?
Yeah. So when I was listening to that, it basically reminded me of what really started my journey of deconstruction. Because or at least like acknowledging that I was on a path of deconstruction, because I've been questioning religion for as long as I can remember. But I think that because there are like things in the Bible, such as like the condoning of slavery, that I just can't like reconcile with, calling myself a believer of a faith that, endorses that. And so like I said, it's one of those things where like people may say, oh, well, you don't have to necessarily like follow that to like believe in the faith and things of that nature. And I'm like, okay, but I feel like if you have to keep making concessions for your faith, then maybe you just need to take the path of least resistance and admit that maybe what your faith is based on is, as our friend Erica would say, a pile of poop. But I know we're not judging people who have certain beliefs, so I won't go too far into that.
Yeah.
I had, sorry, Santana.
Yeah.
I had one quick comment.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I find it interesting, at least growing up with a dad who was a pastor. I went to Christian schools. The way that it is, number one, I was lied to about so many things in scripture. Like, I don't know what word I can use, what they would call the unaliving of babies. And
abortion?
Yeah, I didn't know if I can say it on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And the LGBTQ community. I was just lied to about all of that, which is obviously not blatant in the Bible, but this was never brought up to me. And it's like, why? This is blatantly there. Why was this not something that is harped on? Or I don't know. That's just interesting.
So what I was going to say about this, Jeff, is to her KB's point, like, one, it's not shocking to me, but two, there's so much within the Bible, and depending on how the Bible is interpreted, how it's being weaponized at the moment by whoever is actually, preaching the word or teaching the word, they speak to things that are convenient to actually have, Bible study around. But then there's also situations where like there's justification given in the word and how you explain those things away or whatever. And like, I learned that at a young age. And that's why, like, I've always taken the stance of like, anyone who says that they have to live by the teachings of the Bible, then I'm not exactly sure what teachings you think that you're specifically living by, when there's not only is it full of contradictions, there's things like that as far as the justification of slavery. So that was my thought when I heard it. didn't move me because it wasn't shocking. I already knew about it, but it wasn't shocking at all.
Yeah, and again, I don't. I think I want to like reframe. I want to keep clarifying. Not that anybody's like misunderstanding. I want to keep clarifying the intention, because yes, I do debates online and I use verses like this to underscore a point. That's not what I'm doing here, right? I'm doing this to show like specifically how it is that people in history have used different scriptures, have used different religions to do a thing, right? And the reason I say that is because deconstruction is a personal journey for one, like for yourself. So whether an apologist goes up to you and says, hey, I can recontextualize this, it's got nothing to do with them. Like even me as an atheist, I can say, hey, here's the academic understanding of what these words mean in whatever language. Ain't got nothing to do with me, right? It's got everything to do with how you look at this stuff and how you engage in it. I can tell you, I have friends that are Christian that when I bring up these verses, they disagree with slavery. They don't like these verses, but they join like a progressive church and they hand wave it away. That's a personal decision for them, right? They're not coming up to me and saying, I have to hand wave it away. They're doing that for themselves. And I don't know why, like what their motivation is for keeping their faith after that, right? But that's none of my business. Also, like if they wanted to, they know that if they got into a debate place with me, that's a different conversation. But how people engage with this stuff is the point, like for their own personal journey. And so I just want to be very, very clear in how those are two different things. You know what I mean?
I think that's very understandable. And again, I think it's the point where learning like the steps that are being taken to deconstruct versus what it takes to Jeff, let's be honest, weaponize something in a debate, because that's what we do, right? We weaponize information within a debate to win the debate. And those are two separate things. And while you may use the same information, it's used differently. So I think that's a great point.
I want to change gears a little, unless you had something to add.
Yeah, really quick, guys, for the people that just got here, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Also send your daily heart me if you have not done so. It's only one coin. It'll boost the live and push us out to the FYP. Make sure if you look up at the top and you see the word follow, that means you're not following me. Hit that follow button. We're on our way to 200,000 followers. Make sure you guys are following Jeff. Jeff is our co-host this week. Give him a follow. Make sure you're sending him gifts. But if you would like to support Jeff, the best way to do so is at endofaspecies.com/support. endofaspecies.com/support. That is the best way to support Jeff. If you enjoy what we do here on Late Nights, if you would like to support Late Nights and keep it going, please consider doing so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. Last but not least, if you're interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and request up. And I'm going to be getting as many people in here as we can. This is the last night. Night 4. So if you want to join this conversation, you can request up. If you're over on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, you don't have to leave where you are. The only thing you have to do is click that link, just like Natalie was here, but Natalie is gone. So now we're just going to go ahead and bring Tori in. So if you are interested in coming in, the quickest way, honestly, is over on YouTube, because there's no line over on YouTube, Twitch, or Instagram. All right, Jeff, you were about to switch gears.
Yeah, the switching in gears is just a simple question. Do you think you would believe what you believed if you were raised somewhere else? And that also goes for like, do you think you would have deconstructed if you were in a different location? Like if you were raised how you were raised, but you were in a different location. So do you think you would believe what you believed if you weren't raised where you were raised?
Good question. Jordan, let's start with you.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think that I still would have, like, no matter what situation I was in, I think I still would have, believed what I believe. Just because, like I said, for as long as I can remember, I've always been a questioner of the religion that I was, that I was introduced to, and so I don't see how. I feel like I'm kind of in a space like with my understanding of religion and spirituality that I was always meant to be in, if that makes sense. So I think it was kind of like, a destiny type thing.
Interesting. Okay.
If it's gonna be, then it'll be. Okay. Bliss, what about you?
I always said that when I was born, I came out asking questions why. So I feel like I would still be asking, why am I sitting here listening to some dude up on a pew talk to me? Like, does he actually do what he says he does or what the Bible says he does? Or some guy in a robe in a different type of pew, while people are kneeling and he's giving out his speech. Like, I've always asked why. Or wanting to figure out why stuff works and why people make the actions that they do. So that's always been part of my deconstruction, and not knowing it kind of hinders on my brain, and it just gets stuck there, and then I get stuck in my own head. Like, it got to the point to where between the two, I was questioning every action that I did, every thought that I did. Whatever belief that I was trying to go towards, it would just, am I doing it right? Is this correct? And is it wrong? Am I sinning? Am I not sinning? So that was part of my deconstruction, was just take myself out and look at it from the outside and say, okay, I need to take care of myself. And what's going on between these two is not helping me. It's not bettering myself. And Santana, when you brought up your prompt from like your daytime prompt saying remove white men from power, I internalized that, and because where I grew up, it's mostly, there's a whole bunch of white people. I internalized that and got scared. And I'm like, what happens if the white man isn't in charge? Because they're smart, but they're not. I took a step back and I'm like, they're not the smartest race, ethnic. They're not the smartest people in the world. We're going to be all right. So that's part of all that is all part of my deconstruction within religion, and then just society as it's in itself. So I like to think if I was raised in a different, I don't know, like you said, Jeff, in a different place or a different upbringing, I think I would still have the question, why?
Yeah.
That's part of my deconstruction. From both.
Absolutely. I think that was massively deep, and I'm really happy that you shared that. I just thought about something. I'm going to start switching people out because we got a bunch of people in the box and I want to get more people up. So I meant to say this to Jordan, but I'm going to start with you, Bliss. Bliss, anything else that you want to add before I swap you out?
No, I just want to thank you for bringing up that prompt that you usually do during the day. Like, absolutely. I've never seen anybody bring it up online before, and it's really funny watching people just call in one bit and stumble over it. Yeah, because people are so scared not to have them in charge.
Yeah,
so thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna drop you down. Jordan, coming back to you. Sorry, is there anything else that you wanted to add before we swap you out, friend?
Yeah, I definitely, like I said, thank you for hosting this. And I think the discussions this week have been, phenomenal. And I think especially for Black people, the discussion of religion with our history of it definitely needs to be discussed, and, working through deconstruction as a community. Deconstruction is healing. It's not a linear path. It's circular, and there's going to be, going back and forth. But, I think that, using whatever resources we have is paramount to making that journey a little bit smoother. And to plug something that has really helped me, it's a book by Max Weber. It's called The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism. I was introduced to this book in one of my sociology classes in college, and I've never really seen religion the same since reading it, because it's kind of like not tinfoil hat territory, but more so like, realizing that it all really is kind of a conspiracy type thing. But yeah, it's definitely a very educational book, and I would recommend it to anybody that is trying to like get a better understanding of how religion actually plays into our like all facets of our life, whether we're religious or not. So yeah.
All right. Well, Jordan, it's always a pleasure. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks, Santana, for having me up. You have a good night. Okay.
You as well. KB, coming to you. To Jeff's question, do you think that if you were born in another place, another space, another time, would you have still had the same religion? And would you have gone through the deconstruction process that you have?
I think it's a common theme for deconstruction that most of us are people who question things and ask those questions. And that was me since I was a kid. Just when things were not adding up for me, for what I was being told. Just kind of like you said, Santana, there's so much conflicting information. I asked a lot of questions, and when I did that, I was never given answers, just basically told not to ask them. And so I think, yes, I would have probably eventually ended up here, just with trying to piece together the information and misinformation. Is there a possibility that maybe I would end up, some different religion? I don't know, but yeah, I think I always would have ended up just not aligning in that space.
Okay. All right, KB, anything else that you wanted to add before I swap you out?
No, but thank you both so much for this. This week has been awesome.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Bye.
And last but not least, Miss Donna, what about you?
Hey. Because of who Miss Donna is, I have a very rebellious part of my personality. And I was always the kid that wanted to know why the sky was blue, and you need to elaborate more than just because of the ocean. I think I would have wound up deconstructing from any religion because, and I think a lot of it sometimes has to do with me being raised Catholic from first to 10th grade. And when I really started to question religion was when confirmation came into play and telling my sins to a priest. That never sat well with me. So I think once I got to an age where I had my own mind and could decipher what I liked or didn't like, I don't think it would have mattered where or what religion. I think I would have questioned it anyway.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you for that, Miss Donna. And Miss Donna, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, Santana. I've been listening all 4 nights. And the one thing that I sent that comment in because not very many people, and I've been listening, not many people brought up the connection with mental health. And that is so important. I promise if I could get on a pulpit and scream, like, if you're in any type of therapy, this is something that you need to discuss with your therapist, because you don't realize how much religion, no matter what it is, no matter what denomination, affects your psyche.
Yeah. I think like when that was brought up and when people started speaking to that, I was like, I didn't realize that was a thing, but it makes perfect sense. Like the connection makes perfect sense. So I couldn't agree more. Anyway, Miss Donna, thank you so much for coming up. I really appreciate you.
No worries. You have a good evening, and you too, Jeff. You know, I need a big what you call it, a hug, a virtual hug. I need a virtual hug, Jeff, because I didn't fell in love with you.
All right, Miss Donna, thank you so much. Yeah, you see,
Okay.
listen. You know, him and Drake are cousins, and so when they get flustered a little bit, they change colors. So, yeah.
Well, you guys have a wonderful evening. I love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, Santana.
Thank you, Miss Donna. I appreciate you.
Okay. Right. Bye-bye.
You know, an op once told me that all Dominicans are Canadian, so I guess we might be cousins. Who knows?
Maybe. What up, Schmitty? All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start bringing more people in. If you're interested in coming up and adding to this conversation, go ahead and request up. I'm going to bring more people in once we get you up on the panel. If you don't mind, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. And we're going to start with Tori over on YouTube once we go through the introductions. The one thing that I want to say really quickly is, Jeff, you know, that's always something, that question that you had is always something that I've thought about. And when I say always, for me, I remember 9/11, right? And prior to 9/11, I was in middle school when 9/11 happened, and watching, like, they rolled the TV out, and like I was watching the Twin Towers and all this other stuff. And then after that, I learned, like, oh, they, of course, you know, it's a whole thing with Muslim people, and they start talking about like religion and, you know, was it the 72 virgins, like all this other stuff. And then they start having a conversation around, like, oh, these people are evil. Is like, the reason they did this is completely evil and because the religion is evil. And like, that's the first point that I started thinking to myself and wondering, like, the thing that I've always thought is, how do you justify to someone that their religion or their belief is evil if the way that they're raised and taught is they're raised and taught to believe something is good, even though we may deem that it's bad? Like, that's the internal conflict that I've always had with other things, as far as like the way that, not only the way that people justify it, but I always think that, like, life is about perspective. And the way I look at the world isn't the same way that other people look at the world. And so I can't say that, you know, this person is right or wrong. It's just a different way that certain people look at things. So without a doubt, if I were in another place, another space, another time, like, I'm sure the religion that I would have gravitated to would have been a different religion, because I do think that, especially when you're younger, you're just a product of your environment.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I saw it in the chat. It's hard for me to focus on the chat because, like, my thoughts are whirring. Mm-hmm. But Islamophobia grew exponentially from.
That's the only time Black people got a break, Jeff. That was the only time we got a. Oh my God!
For like a half a second.
Yeah.
Right. It was Islamophobia just exploded, and I can critique Islam, but that doesn't mean that I have to go around saying that Muslims are evil or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It is perspective, right? Like, we've had people who are, you know, and I don't want to like highlight this, but we've had people who are Buddhist. I have critiques about Buddhism, you know, and how I don't think. And you know, Sean talks about this more than I do, but I don't think that Buddhism could lead to Black liberation at all, right? So, yeah, so like, it is about perspective. It is about trying to take a second to understand the surroundings that people are in, and from there, just understand that your way is, like, no matter who you are, your way is not the only way. It doesn't necessarily make it the right way.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. W's in the chat for KB. KB sent a $5 donation. Thank you, KB. KB said, great topic for the week, and all the conversations have been so valuable. Thank you. Well, KB, thank you for the donation. Thank you for supporting Late Nights and what we do here. And thank you for coming up on the panel and actually joining the conversation. W's in the chat for KB, guys. If anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out, guys. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. And make sure we're showing Jeff some love. Make sure we're following Jeff. Make sure we're gifting Jeff. But if you really, really want to support him, the best way to do so is at endofaspecies.com/support. That's endofaspecies.com/support. All right. Let's do quick introductions, and then we're going to get back into the conversation. Going over to YouTube, Tori, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tori, can you tell the people, what is your current relationship with religion?
I don't have one.
Okay, listen.
I'm atheist.
That's somewhat of a relationship. Okay, all right. Perfect. Give me a second here. All right. Now I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. Victoria, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Victoria, can you tell the people, what's your current relationship with religion?
I would say that I'm not religious, but I'm a spiritual person.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Molly, how are you?
Hello, I'm good.
Good. Molly, can you tell the people, what is your current relationship with religion?
I think I've kind of just started in my deconstruction. For a couple of years, I've been a little confused and, questioning my faith, and I don't think it's there anymore. Mm-hmm. So these late nights have been very informative for me, and I know I'm not the only one. So
good. Perfect. All right. Lil Pay.
You can call me Thomas, but I'm good.
Thomas, can you tell the people, what is your current relationship with religion?
I am a deconstructed Protestant Christian.
Okay. Perfect. All right, one moment. And last but not least, communist, is it Allah?
Yes. How are you? Hey, how are you?
Oh, is this the person you were telling us about last night?
Oh,
Jeff? I thought this was
No. This is Somali, not Hanji.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My apologies, Somali. How are you?
W Somali in the chat.
W Somali's in the chat for real. How are you this evening?
I'm doing very well. Yourself?
Good. Can you tell us the chat, what's your current relationship with religion?
I'm an ex-Muslim, atheist, who's basically anti-religion. To understand. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and get it started. I'm going to pass it back to Jeff, but really quick, guys, W's in the chat for Ashley. Ashley sent a $5 donation saying, please consider making this a regular topic. What? We do different topics every week. We can't make this the regular topic. We have a different topic every week.
You know what? I will say, if you want to engage in, so there's two things you can do. Number one, join my Discord. The link is in the bio. Mm-hmm. That's number one. We have a whole deconstruction section in the Discord. I really wish people would use it more, but we have a lot of great people in there who can go through that. And if you want to do a Q&A with me, join the Extinction Files. So if you go to endofaspecies.com and join the Extinction Files, there's a monthly AMA, and you can ask me whatever questions you want. I'm on there all the time, and I'll answer any questions you have.
Jeff, how about somebody showed up with a ski mask and told me that I was supposed to get in your Discord? You know what I told him, Jeff?
What's that?
Shoot. I do not do Discord. All right. Sorry, Jeff. The floor is yours. Where are we going?
All right. I think with this panel, we have a good mix. And I like this because we have people, like everybody's in various stages of deconstruction, and they're shedding parts, and some people have shed everything. Some people have kept stuff and less stuff. What do you do to decide what parts of your spiritual or religious worldview you're keeping, and what parts are you taking it away? And Petty, no, it's I have to give you all the full title of the AMA. It's Ask Me Anything Unless It's Stupid. That's the full title of the AMA. I just don't always say that because it's a mouthful, but that's just for Petty.
Okay. So let's start with Tori. Tori, I'm going to start with you first, and then we're going to work our way from top up now. But Tori, since you've been waiting the longest, floor is yours.
Sure. So I probably should have started with, I'm ex-Baptist, like Southern Baptist, and Methodist, and non-denominational Christian. So I've been all over the map on that, but I've been deconstructing for like 11 years. So for what I've kept was more so what I formed myself, and that was my own moral beliefs outside of the actual religion. And I tossed pretty much anything I learned, minus like actual stuff from the Bible just to use for conversation.
Okay. That's good. Somali, what about you?
I don't know if I can keep anything from my religion. It's everything I have came from my culture, came from my people. And anything that's outside of that to me is foreign. And I don't see why, like, the religion does not have anything extra than my culture has. If that makes sense.
It does.
100%.
Okay. Wait, what did you say your name was again? I'm sorry, because I want to call you Lil Pate.
It's Thomas.
Thomas, like the train. I won't forget it now. Like, that's how I have to remember stuff. I have to associate it with like other stuff, or like in order for me to remember numbers, I have to connect it to athletes' jersey numbers. Anyway, Thomas, sorry. And what about you?
For me personally, I think some of the religions have a good moral compass to follow. Obviously, some of it has some pretty harsh rhetorics and some pretty harmful rhetorics, but for Southern Baptist and non-denominational, a lot of it can be good. It's just loving your neighbor and all that kind of stuff. For me personally, it kind of shows you how to to treat people with respect. So I did grow up on a lot of the Southern Baptist type stuff. So I definitely have a lot of respect. That's some of the takeaways that I can take from religion.
Okay. Molly, what about you?
So I guess I should start off too with I grew up, I guess we were Protestant, non-denominational, in a United Church of Christ, which is now one of the more contemporary, progressive type, as they are open and affirmed and they accept everybody. However, just within my family and stuff, I'm probably one of the only, I say, blue dots in a red family. I'm kind of the black sheep, and again, just started questioning a lot of things and just seeing a lot of, religion being used for hate and stuff. And I can't get with that. And I feel like one of the only things I am taking away from it, like a few others have said, is just the moral, like I have my moral values on, what I think is right and wrong. And I feel like, sometimes people just need to mind their own business and, let others live their life. I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of, I think halfway, through. I can't be with the hate, and I can't, when I've lost people that I love and I see all these terrible things happening with people, I think that's just what's made me question the most. And again, it's more the morality that I'm keeping.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Growing up, I was always thankful that my parents allowed me a lot of freedom to kind of explore my own beliefs and what that might look like.
You have a bit of an echo. I don't know if you're like close to a speaker or something like that, but it's a bit of an echo.
I'm close to a wall. Here, let me move.
Okay.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries.
I was very thankful that my parents allowed me a lot of space and opportunities to explore my own belief. I was exposed to a lot of different kinds of things growing up. I was allowed to go to youth group. I was invited by my friends, and my parents would go to that. I learned a lot there. My grandma was a lesbian, and her wife was Native American, Cherokee. So she actually invited me a lot of opportunities to learn about the Creator and go to some of the traditional ceremonies. So I was really thankful for those opportunities. And what it kind of left me with was that our spirituality is so vast, and I think that a lot of religions across the world have some what I like to call universal truths, and really good stories and life lessons to live by. But I think in that same breath, it's also clouded by man's manipulation and ego and fear and corruption. And so I think that every day we have to sift through and try to make our own best judgment about what is the right thing. And I think that that can always be ever evolving.
Okay. Okay. I'll say this, and then Jeff, I'm going to pass it back to you to keep it moving. Jeff, you know, I've talked about this, and I would say the one thing that I've kept is the feeling. Because, like, you know, I told you, and it's funny, again, me and my mom talked about this. She was like, oh, you know, yeah, I do remember going to church, and yeah, we didn't really read the Bible that much. And well, maybe if we would have went to Bible study, and, you know, like, then it would have been better. Like, she started, I had to tell her, like, listen, lady, it's okay. I'm talking about it when I was an adult as well, not like when I was just younger. But the one thing that I still hold on to today is the feeling. And I lean on a saying, people may not always remember what you do or say, what you do for them or you say to them, but they'll always remember how you make them feel. And while I know for a fact that when I was going to church, you know, every Sunday, there was never a sense of like actual study, actual learning or anything like that. But it was always like they addressed the feeling. It was superficial. But at that point, I realized that, like, doing my best to make sure that I leave people with a good feeling after our interactions is something that I wanted to make sure that I did. And so that's the one thing that I do keep. But Jeff, floor is yours.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how everybody addresses this. Me, I just like to believe what's true, right? Mm-hmm. I don't care if what's true means that it's horrible for me or great for me or whatever. I just like to believe what's true. But I also understand that there are environments where there are other factors to that. So I guess I want everybody to think about like for example, Somali. One of the things that you said that hit me is how much keeping your culture is important versus recognizing that some of the beliefs that you shed were foreign beliefs. That's a motivator, right? I want to think about those motivators and see if, because it's more than questioning why, it's more understanding what things around you are influencing how you approach parsing the information and forming a new worldview, right? And again, this isn't saying that any one way is right or wrong. It's just like building self-awareness. So if everybody could go or around the panel and tell me or share with everybody if you think there are any like motivating things that tell you, hey, I need to hold on to this, like Santana said, with a feeling, whether it's something that makes you feel good about what like how the world is when you have this belief, or when you get rid of it, right? Does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah, it does. And sorry, I wasn't trying to share the screen. It was a pop-up. I just saw that. I'll start.
You read my mind, because I was actually going to say I wanted to start with you.
Yeah. Also, Ronald, I'm not sure what that comment's about in the chat, but keep it in line. Like, seriously. I'll start in the sense that no. Jeff, no. There's nothing that made me say that I had to keep this. I think it's just like I internalized it, and it was just based off of like how I want to what I want to put out in the world. I've used the actual phrase before from My Name is Earl: do good things happen, do bad things happen. And I mean, it's just me, right? I don't hold anyone to the same standard. I don't think it was because like I'm attached to religion or anything. It's something that resonated with me. And I'll share another really quick story. When I was super young, I had a cousin who was murdered, and like I saw the pain and hurt that it left my family with. And I couldn't have been more than like 8 or so. And at that point I was like, yeah, when I grow up, I'm never going to have friends, never going to have family, like no kids, no wife, nothing, because I don't want to leave. I don't want anyone else to feel the pain and hurt that I feel, that my family feels right now if I die. Right. And so that was just like my perspective when I was young. And so like I've always had that kind of perspective about ensuring that I'm putting something out that will not only make me feel good about myself, but it'll make other people feel good when they interact with me. And so even though I felt like I was able to quantify that feeling from church, I didn't hold on to it because it was church. I held on to it because it was important to me.
That makes sense. Yeah, I guess let's go around with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Let's start back with Tori again.
Okay. Oh, that's a hard one to answer for me. Okay, so I'd probably say that the only thing that would probably make me hold on to anything in the first place was the sense of community that religion brings. And actually carrying that out to other people, because I feel like that's the main reason people are in a religious environment in the first place, is for that sense of community. So providing that outside of a church or whatever.
Yeah.
Being a listening ear or whatever that it may mean to someone.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is a big one. All right, Tori, I'm going to get ready to swap you out. But before I do, is there anything else that you wanted to add to the conversation that you didn't get a chance to speak on?
I will say with the comment you actually made in regards to 9/11, I feel like with your comment saying that, trying to understand where people were coming from on that, I feel like Americans, primarily white Americans, are very good at othering people. And that was the goal.
Yeah, and I think it's also really easy when you talk about the fact that like the predominant religion here is Christianity, and it was an opportunity to vilify something that people don't really know much about. And like, that's why even you take like a look at the way that certain groups and demographics are still being villainized today, it's because either they are such a small group or they're someone or some, someone that people don't know a lot about. And so, yeah, I think that was one of the reasons why it was so easy to vilify them at that time. But Tori, thank you so much for coming up and hanging out with us this evening.
Yeah, of course.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. All right, Victoria, what about you?
I would say that I don't hold on to anything from like a religion standpoint. I would say that I hold on to faith in something that's greater than myself, and maybe myself being part of that. But I also try not to put any constraints of what that might look or be like. I hold on to like do good, be good. I think also my attachment towards faith and like what happens after we die and things like that. I think that changed after I lost my dad to colon cancer. And I had some like really unique experiences that were just hard to explain. And so I think that everyone's experiences are unique, and their connection to whatever is beyond us, is their own. And I think that we need to appreciate people's experiences as we see them now.
Okay. All right. And Victoria, before we swap you out, is there anything else that you haven't got a chance to speak on that you wanted to add?
I just kind of wanted to leave people with like a thought of like, if you are or might be like constricted to the idea of religion or like scripture is the law, think about like, do you think that there's anyone who could revise it today? Do you think that anyone would be just enough to revise it today? And if the answer is no, then why are we holding so much weight into what was written then? Who was just enough to written then?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, perfect. Thank you so much. I'm gonna switch you out. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Molly, floor is yours. What about you?
So I like Santana, how you said, with the feeling and, to be right, all that stuff. And I think for me, it's kind of, the golden rule basically of, treat others the way you want to be treated. Mm-hmm. And also, you want how you want the world to see you. I am also an educator in special education as well. So I do feel that, how you put yourself out there and how you treat others definitely makes, a big impact. And as far as anything else religious, I feel like that would be, the only thing to either hang on to or that has made me start changing my mind on a lot of things and just dumping religion in general.
Oh, okay.
So much, hypocrisy that goes around with it. So if that makes sense. Did that answer your question? I apologize.
It does. I'm sorry. I just saw something that caught my attention. All right. I apologize. And also, I want to give you the floor. Is there anything else that you wanted to add on, or anything that you haven't got a chance to speak about?
I think the only comment I want to make is when you had the last panel up here on if you were raised different or in a different area, if I would still have the same feeling. Again, being raised, I live in a small rural town where it's all, it's Catholic, it's farmers, it's, everything. I honestly am not sure if, I would question if I was maybe raised in a different type of religion. I don't Well, I'm not sure, honestly. I think part of why I'm questioning everything and deconstructing is, because of what I was raised in and the community that I belong to. And again, while I'm a blue dot and a red family and a red community. I'm actually in Illinois, and most Chicago is the only thing keeping us blue, thank God. But I don't know. I think anything different, I probably would still hold to the same questioning everything. So
Yeah, I think that a lot of people do, or like I think a lot of people want to think that that they shape themselves and they're not a product of their environment. But I tend to believe that at an early age, we are absolutely a product of our environment, but we make the decision whether we want to stay as that product of our environment or if we want to change and be something better. So like, I think that's how that actually goes.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I, again, was raised to be, Republican, religious, and all that stuff. And I am, again, the only one in my family that sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm, because I have, I'm like, guys, this is, this isn't right. I'm the only one that questions everything. And so, yep.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming up and hanging out with us.
Yep. Thanks.
Hey, over on Twitch, if Vash, if you're still listening, or Reaper, can one of you guys look at the message that I just sent and let me know? All right, Thomas. See, I remember that time because of the train. Thomas, what about you?
Can you repeat the question really quick so I have a better understanding?
Jeff?
Yeah, so I wanted to get a sense of if they were, aside from just the motivators that you have, if there are any other things that lead you to how you approach moving the data, like I'm going to say assessing the data, but really how you approach what you keep and what you leave, specifically like environmental factors, things like that you think play a role in how you interact with deconstruction.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a strong believer that that everybody has their own set of morals, and I think that's been proven time and time again that you hold your own moral code outside of the religion that you have. So pretty much anything that comes into direct conflict with your moral code that's in the religion that you came from, I think that's something that you should drop.
Okay.
Thomas,
is there anything else that you wanted to add to this conversation that you haven't got a chance to speak on?
Yeah, I have one comment. That whenever you do start, or if you do decide to start your deconstruction journey, make sure that it's over a valid reason. I know a lot of people that tried to deconstruct and they have fallen back into their religion because they chose something that was not valid. So my reason was actually from a Dean Withers video. He had a debate with Nick Fuentes, and it was that you hold your own moral code outside of religion. So I think that's very, very important, and to do lots of research.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, Thomas, thank you for coming up and hanging out with us.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, and we're going to start bringing new people in. So if you are interested in getting in on the conversation, go ahead and request up. I'm going to start getting new people in here in just a few moments. Also, really quickly, guys, W's in the chat for Miss Donna, who sent a $15 super chat to say, please split this with Jeff. No, don't hold on. But Songs of Solomon and the Book of James are special to me. They've been my feel good, speak to me books after I left Catholicism, if that makes sense. Kinda. Like, I don't know. Jeff, I don't know. I think people are, what is it? Sentimental. And so, like, even if they, like on an intellectual level can move past things, on a emotional level, they can't necessarily move past those things. So.
Look, if I can get a feeling when I see the hilt of Darth Vader's lightsaber, there's no reason somebody can't love Songs of Solomon. Like, it's literature at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So I understand it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome in, Ari Raid. Welcome in, Ari Raid. Guys, if anyone else would like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. And one more time, Somali, just FYI, I'm not forgetting about you. I'm doing this right now because I was gonna see if you want to stick around a little bit longer instead of just coming past this question. I mean, if you can't, you just let me know. But do you want to hang out longer with us?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I would love to.
All right. I was going to keep you up here a little longer then. All right. Perfect. So let me finish this. Guys, make sure that we are taking care of Jeff. And when I know I've been talking about the endofaspecies.com/support. It's the best way to support Jeff. But I don't think that I'm really doing it justice, right? Jeff mentioned his actual Discord. Jeff does lives. He does debates. He does the Extinction Files. But Jeff, could you take just a few moments and tell people what do they find? What do they get if they do go over to endofaspecies.com?
Okay, so right now I'm on a mission. One of the things I've noticed that I've been talking about for like the past year is how much what's the nice way to say this? Unqualified people lead the conversation. Do you see what I'm saying?
Stupid people are the loudest.
Yeah, like, and they also drive the content. So there are so many things that I think would be beneficial from a lot of creators if we as a collective shared that information. But because of the nature of the thing we do here on this platform, constantly we have this stopgap of people who, like, it almost seems like we're in Groundhog's Day. We continue to have the same conversation over and over again. So recently I've made a decision to start focusing more on making content that educates and not like content that waits for an op to say something stupid so that I can, get a cheap W in a debate. There's still going to be intellectual violence, but when you go to endofaspecies.com, the information you get there is going to hopefully turn you into a better thinker, turn you into a better reasoner, give you a different perspective on things. It is going to share, especially like in the Extinction Files, a lot of the research I do behind the scenes and how I do research so that I can get into, when I get into conversations, I have more information at my disposal. So all of those things are available. But also, if you know anything about me, I like to lead with comedy. Right now, I just started a new series on YouTube called Jeff Makes It Make Sense. And this is just a series of videos that I'm working on where for 15 minutes, I take a topic in anything and I break it down so that it's easy to understand. So I have a list of topics I'm going to be breaking down. Some of them are in philosophy. Some of them are in sociology. Some of them are in comedy theory, right? So there are things like I've had some conversations behind the scenes where I've just told some people that I know that they're funny, but they don't know why they're funny, right? And I'll say, hey, when you say something this way, it's not funny. But then you say it this way, and it is funny. And that's comedy theory. So that's one of the things. At the core, though, End of a Species is dedicated to the hypothesis that no matter what it is that we're doing, it's over. Like the species is a wrap. I want to be wrong, but that's why it's end of a species. So just know that you're going to, as I develop the site, you're going to see things like the progress bar on getting the hydrogen out of the sun. You are going to see things like godbounty.com, where we are hunting down any deity and putting their whole dome piece on a silver platter. And, you know, the bounty is clearly listed on there. There are so many things where I try to make you look at stuff that you've looked at already and try to look at it in a different way. And hopefully, you know, just think better about it.
That sounds like a whole package deal. I don't know about you guys, but if I were you, I'd get over to endofthespecies.com and I would check that out. I would check that out. Really quick, guys. W's in the chat for Chelsea for the $2 donation. Said my favorite verse is Ezekiel 23:19 through 21. What is that, Jeff?
Did you say Ezekiel?
Ezekiel 23:19 through 21.
I know Numbers 23:19 is God can't lie. Let's pull it up. Ezekiel 23. Oh, yes. The troll one. Don't read that one. Don't read that one. There's a reason I repressed this verse. No.
What? Hold on.
No, don't read that one. Don't read it. Don't do it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
we're gonna read this at the end of the live. This is, that's the end of the live verse. We're gonna read that. Oh no, we're gonna read that.
That's after midnight, after dark
no.
verse.
No. We're gonna read that verse. Oh yeah, no. You guys know how we end up in the live, so we're gonna read that for sure. My favorite verse is Austin 3:16. W's in the chat for Molly for the $5 donation, saying thanks for having me. I apologize. Just stop it, Molly. You did amazing. You did absolutely amazing. This is my first time on the live, and I was super nervous. Love your lives. Love being a part of on the right side of history with all of you. Thank you so much. And last but not least, guys, W's in the chat for Tyler for the $25 donation. Happy Thursday. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, realized pretty young I wasn't into it, and I have since left, but my family's still in it. I'm curious to hear what you all think of the religion. I've come to think of it as a cult. Kind of the same to me. Some of the best people I know, though, but it seems like a cult to me. Jeff, you want to give your quick thoughts on that?
Wait, we'll say that again. I was looking at I just got an email.
Witnesses.
I mean,
what are your thoughts on it?
JWs are. I mean, it is what I would consider a cult, but they also have their own theology. So I don't know. I think they are harmful in how they indoctrinate and how they isolate, but also the fact that they have a really strange theology for like the Christian faith, I think that's a bigger red flag, because it does what I call stacking fan fiction.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I want to pass it to...
real quick. W's in the chat for Wade for the donation to the Fund the End campaign, the $5 donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Let's go. W's in the chat. All right, Somali, I'm going to give the floor to you. I don't know if you need Jeff to repeat the question again, and then we'll introduce the new people, and we'll take it home with this panel.
So let me just remember the question instead. So you wanted to know whether had I had the tools to question what I decided to keep, had I kept it?
Well, just like an examination of if there are environmental factors that lead to like how you decide what to keep, what to get rid of. And in your case, like you're kind of similar to me in that you're an atheist and an anti-theist. So like the environmental factors around you that maybe affected that or led to that,
Okay,
if there are any.
I understand. I never had the ability to believe I'm autistic. I always saw irregularities, and I saw them in a way that it unfortunately I internalized them. So it did take me a while to deconstruct those irregularities, but however, I've always seen patterns, and I tried to make sense out of them, and it wasn't. I just didn't have the tools at the time, and it was just my innate way of seeing the patterns and seeing the like for instance, in Islam, women are dignified, but then again, there's a verse that does the complete opposite. And it basically, I could not accept it, whereas my whole community did, like it was a fact. It felt like I was being gaslit basically my whole childhood.
Okay. Yeah, so it does sound like, the environmental thing there is the fact that you're seeing something different than everybody else. And it, when it doesn't make sense, I can see how that would lead you to come to the conclusions that you did.
Yeah. All right. So let's do a quick round robin, introduce the new people to the panel, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to start with Darkly. Darkly, floor is yours. And also Twitch, let me know. So apparently there was only an echo coming from when people were over on this side speaking. So Twitch, let me know if you guys hear echo when Darkly speaks. Darkly, how are you?
Okay. I'm doing all right. I came back from a Edgar Allan Poe event where the stories were performed out and paired with drinks. It was great.
Awesome. That sounds good. All right, Darkly, can you tell the people what is your current relationship with religion?
My current relationship with religion is that I am an atheist. I was raised Pentecostal, homeschooled as well. So I have studied quite a bit of theology. Long after I left the church, I studied theology. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of an echo on my end.
Yeah. I can see it and I can hear it. For some reason, you're coming out of your mic and my mic. Go ahead. I'm gonna figure it out in real time. If you can try to push through it just a little bit, I'm gonna figure out why you talk.
Yeah, I tried to fix that before I got on. Apologies, everyone. So I would say I separate my criticism of religion with my against the chip on my shoulder. Christianity didn't treat me very well, without going into a lot of details. And one thing that often gets me is how many things are factually inaccurate. Oh, can you still hear me? I'm not hearing the echo.
Yeah, but can everyone still hear Darkly?
Yeah, I can still hear.
Okay. Twitch.
Oh, wonderful.
Twitch, can you guys still hear Darkly?
Testing. Twitch, howdy.
There, Reaper or Vash or we should be good. Okay. All right. Perfect. Go ahead. It's only Twitch, guys. It was only Twitch where the issue was. All right. Go ahead, Darkly. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was often placed with church leaders and things like that to take from their example. And I very quickly, at a young age, realized the person to my left and the person to my right were not talking to the same Jesus. As I progressed on, I learned a lot of things like how many archangels are mentioned in the Bible. You think probably 4 would be most people's guess. It's 1. Is Lucifer the name of the devil? No, it's not. Because the original translator made a specific note in the margins that they were trying to make it more colloquially accessible by using that name than the original Hebrew. And there's all kinds of inaccuracies and things that maybe being on the spectrum myself get to me a little bit more than other people might worry about.
Okay, well, hold that thought just a moment. We just want to do a quick introduction. I know we were doing a little more troubleshooting, but hold tight. Let me introduce the rest of the people, and then we're going to give it to Jeff. All right, coming back over to TikTok, let's start with Lillian. Lillian, how are you?
Hey, Santana. It's Liliana or Lily.
Liliana, sorry. Lily. I'm going to call you Lily. Lily,
no worries.
can you tell the people what's your current relationship with religion?
So I would say I'm very grateful for my parents not forcing any kind of religion or any, we didn't go to church when I was little. I did go to some, with friends to some churches. But my dad was Catholic and my mom, and I didn't find out till recently, she's a Unitarian Universalist. So that's a really interesting church that I looked into that's really about theologic diversity. So all different religions are welcome there, and they're really big about inclusivity. I've never actually gone to that church, but it's probably one of the more churches that feel welcoming, especially because I don't feel like places like, Christian churches are very welcoming at times. But so I would consider myself spiritual, and I'm not really attached to any religion. I'm not convinced of any God, and I'll leave it there for now.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Heidi, how are you?
Oh, I am good. How are you?
Good. Heidi, can you tell the people what is your current relationship with religion?
I feel like I have a lot of beef with religion. I grew up Christian. I feel like I'm deconstructing from organized religion, but I would consider myself spiritual.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. And last but not least, Mari, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Good. Mari, can you tell the people what is your current relationship with religion?
Current relationship, I would say I believe in God, in higher power, but I would say I believe in universal virtue. So I believe in duality and understanding that sure you can have your own personal morals, you understand laws and ethics, and understand the importance of as a collective, it's important as a society to care for others. So when you combine those aspects of life, I think it's important cherishing those aspects and just in terms of having your own identity or what you believe in.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right, Jeff, where are we taking this thing?
I think it's a good place to see if anybody on the panel has any questions. I do have something for who's on. I don't see the name. Who's on the YouTube side?
It's Darkly.
Is it Darkly? While we're waiting to see if anybody has questions, Darkly, ask yourself if there was a heart beating at the end of the Telltale Heart, and if Edgar Allan Poe would tell you. But does anybody have any questions about the stuff that we talked about today so far?
Let's start with Somali. Somali, do you have any questions or just anything else that you would like to have us talk about when it comes to deconstructing religion?
I would like to echo, I think the name was Miss Donna. I think if you ever do this panels again, I think you should add in mental illness, neurodivergence. I suffer from a lot of religious trauma that I'm still healing from. And being on the spectrum adds to that trauma. And the healing is ongoing. It's heavy. But other than that, I do not have any questions at the moment, to be honest. So I'm good for now.
Okay. All right. Mari, I know you just got up here, but is there any questions or anything specifically that you wanted to bring up for us to talk about?
Yeah. So how do you deal with NPCs? Because in my opinion, most people are NPCs. So how do you try to get them to your side, understanding how things work in terms of morals, logic? Sometimes it just goes over their heads. Like I see when you have conversations with Trump supporters, it's just like everything you say goes over their head. So how do you even have conversations with NPCs, people who don't really have a mind of their own?
In the aspect of religion?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Okay, so you don't have to. Like, I believe in reasoning, rationality, all like dialectical norms, all of that stuff. But they're not compulsory. These are things that we made up in order for us to kind of examine how we think and try to communicate better. That's not everybody's bag. Some people don't care about that. And I think that's okay, but they just need the prerequisite to have a conversation. I used to have the three rules for being able to have a conversation with me. I used to have that on my website. I think I'm going to put it back because I think it's important to understand that you also have to set boundaries for conversations. So like the first rule is that like if you and I speak, we have to agree that we share a reality. So if I see a tree and you see a lawnmower, we have a problem. The second rule is that we're going to be honest and engage logically, right? If you don't believe in either of those things, that's cool. We just move on. And the third rule, and I know Santana's going to like this one, we're going to just agree to not dehumanize with any argument we make. Mm-hmm. And I used to say, if you dehumanize somebody, I'm going to walk away. But intellectual violence dictates that if you dehumanize somebody, I'm probably going to dehumanize you back. Mm-hmm. But the truth is, there are people who just want you to convince them to be like a regular person. And that should have been done already, mm-hmm. right? Like you're in society, you engage in all the things that we engage in. You have to be a regular person when you go to the grocery store. You have to be a regular person when you're on the highway. If suddenly you don't want to be a regular person when you're having a conversation, that's on you. Yep. Right? I don't have to deal with that.
Yep. And Jeff, you say that, but like the thing that resonated with me, Swan used to say it all the time, and I know she still says it, is I shouldn't have to teach people to see the humanity in me. And like, I think that's something that we should understand when engaging with anybody. If they don't have the ability to see the humanity in you or the humanity in others, or, like, just not going to do it. Like there's no point. So Yeah. Okay. Heidi, what about you? Any questions or anything that you wanted us to talk about? Anything you want to bring up to talk about?
I had a question, I think more so for Jeff of, I think it's really hard to deconstruct from the religion I was raised in. And there's a part of me that like feels like I can't fully deconstruct from it until I like go through every single page of the Bible. To then say like, okay, I fully like, I can like affirm everything that I'm thinking now. Like when you brought up the first audio, like I didn't even know that was in the Bible. And like I grew up going to church every Sunday and Sunday school and all that stuff. And it's like, I see all those things and I see many other things where it's like, okay, I don't agree with this, but I feel like I can't fully disengage until I know everything. I just wanted to know like your thoughts on that.
Me, I don't need to go through every page of the Bible. I understand your desire to. Let me ask you this question. If I told you I had the very best cookbook in the whole world, every cuisine, perfect, and then you turn to page 138 and I'm telling you to cook bread over poop, would you think it's still the best cookbook? Would you need to read more pages?
Maybe.
Yeah, I know. I feel like it should be a good answer. I don't like there's a part of me that just wants to know like what else is in there.
But just as far as you would agree that just as far as the best cookbook, that's not it no more, right?
Well, I don't know, Jeff. Have you tried the poop bread? No, I'm gonna leave you alone. Sorry, go ahead.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, where's this
that's
going?
in the. So spoiler alert. That's in the Bible. Poop bread is in the Bible. It's Ezekiel 4. Like that. Like Ezekiel gets told by God to bake bread over human dung and eat it. Like that's a thing that happens in the Bible. And Ezekiel tells God no, and he goes, all right, then eat it over bake it over cow dung. So
that's why the Christians put the poop in the water, Jeff. That's why the Supreme Court rule that there is acceptable poop in the water. That's why it's because it's in the Bible and they're religious zealots. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
Bro, I'm gonna make it worse for you. There is bread that you can get at the grocery store that's called Ezekiel bread, and it says Ezekiel 4:9 on it because Ezekiel 4:9 tells you all of these ingredients that you put in bread. It says wheat and barley and beans and all this other stuff. But 3 verses later, like whenever I see it at the grocery store, I laugh because I'm like, I hope nobody's buying this because 3 verses later he tells you what to cook it over. And it's like the translation is human dung.
Noah said he eats that bread. Sorry. All right. Go ahead with your analogy.
So, I mean, it's not an impossible task reading the whole Bible. I think it's a harder task, like memorizing the whole Bible. But it like you set your own standard, right? So whatever standard that is, you just go through that. That doesn't, I mean, nobody's ever going to promise that it's going to be easy. But if that's what you feel that you need to do, what I can tell you is that there are a lot of tools out there. Like there's a whole bunch of Bible apps that can put you on a plan to read the whole Bible in X amount of days. And if you follow it, then you'll do it. You know, you'll get through it.
Yeah, totally. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. And the analogy is kind of sinking in. I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Not caca bread. Okay. Lily, did you have any questions or anything that you specifically want to talk about?
Hey, yeah, so, sorry, I have some, like, cognition issues, and sometimes it, like, things get away from me. So I would say there are two kinds of truths in the world, and that would be like personal truths that you hold true to yourself, like religions, different things, and then there's objective truths that are objectively true, proven by things like science. And so I haven't really seen like anything in any religion that holds like objectively true. So I don't, and as someone like in the scientific community, evidence is very important to me. And obviously there is no evidence. There is no objective universal reality. There is no objective truth. So the things that are like I look at are kind of like there's have you ever heard of the observer effect?
Yeah.
So it's right, implying that your consciousness, you're observing something, makes physical reality collapse and with the state of multiple possibilities, and that your consciousness is able to influence the reality.
Oh, so it's like The Secret.
Right. Yeah. It's right. So something so interesting to me, especially not being like raised, not having a religion that I was raised up on and not having to deconstruct these kind of things. I think it's a lot easier for me to look at these things and, connect some of these dots. And I'm like the observer effect, that your consciousness can manipulate reality and how particles move and react. And, different things. You know who Andy Weir is? No. Andy Weir, he is the author of The Martian and also the Project Hail Mary that is very popular right now. If you haven't seen it, you definitely should. It's A+. But so he wrote a short story called The Egg, and I find it really interesting. It's an 8-minute video on YouTube you can watch, and it has a really cool animation. So the idea is that the entire universe is like an egg, and that consciousness is all interconnected. And, we kind of see interconnected, relating to quantum physics being, everything being, at the fundamental level is energy, not matter. So everything is influenced by energy. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
Everything is influenced by energy, not matter. It's the center. You were talking about the egg theory.
Yes. So just kind of, like being able to, I'm also really nervous. I'm sorry. This is my first time ever on a live.
That's okay. You're doing great. You're doing absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
You're killing it.
And I also got to say, like, if you say that you understand quantum physics, you don't, because nobody really understands quantum physics. And it's so vast. And something also really interesting to me is that a lot of people work in physics, famous physicists, they also have seen a lot of connection between consciousness and reality, and how you can, like, there's like scientific observations of us influencing reality. And where I was going was interconnectedness, and like the idea of a whole consciousness, that the universe is a whole consciousness. So in the egg theory is that the entire universe is like an egg, and there's one consciousness living out all the lives. So in theory, we are all the same consciousness, basically. And
I've heard that one.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and the video is very, very illustrative.
I saw like a depiction of that, right? And it was like a person going through life and the person would die and then come back to life as a different person, and then at some point the person met like another person. Every time they would die, they would meet another person, and the person was like, no, you're not ready yet. But basically they were saying that like each person had to live every life of the people that were on earth. And so we all share the same consciousness. It's just like it's cycling through all. Yeah, I saw a video that illustrated that.
Yeah, and so the egg would be, you know, once we've lived through every single existence, every single possibility, every life on Earth that has been lived, then we are matured enough to, you know,
go to the other place with the other. Yeah, the, with all the other like. Yeah. I saw that video on Twitter. It was dope.
Right, and it's just a really interesting like way that I think Andy Weir took the idea of different science and theories and kind of made that like that short story. So I guess that's what I have to say.
Okay.
If you're interested in quantum physics and the foundations of reality, there's a philosopher of science by the name of Alyssa Ney, Ney, who I think, the view that she pushes forward is a view called wave function realism, and she has a few arguments for it. I know she has a few papers and articles that she's written about it. It would be good for you to look through it. I think it would be interesting, or at least I think you would find it interesting.
Yeah, I looked her up like really briefly. She does sound like, you know, she's studying like metaphysics, and it sounds very interesting. So, I mean, I'm wondering, like, what do you guys think about that perspective of a more conscious universe, or, you know, the kind of idea of reincarnation, or
I think it's just as plausible as anything else.
Yeah. See, my thing is that I am persuaded by science, but, you know, a book that's been written years ago from humankind is not very persuasive to me.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. All right. And let's kick it over to Darkly. Is there anything, any question that you had, or anything specific that you want to bring up to talk about that we haven't had a chance to?
It's a little hard to pinpoint something between poop bread and infinity. But I missed her name. But I am familiar with the concepts you're talking about. That
Lily.
It's a strange way to
Lily. Yeah.
Lily. Thank you. If you think of things as being the brain, it's electrical signals. I believe, what is it? Positive and negative potassium ions flowing between the neurons. It's all physical stuff. So in a sort of weird way, everything you can think of is kind of real in a way, but in like a model of what is potentially possible, or your brain trying to figure out what is potentially possible. I don't know if that syncs up much with what you were thinking about. Jeff mentioned Edgar Allan Poe and the Telltale Heart. I wasn't sure if that was tying into the conversation or just anecdotally on the side of mentioning Poe. But
the reason I bring that up is because that's a thought experiment I use to examine how people challenge literature. And so like we look at scripture and we have a whole bunch of different interpretations, and we don't have the author to tell us if we're right or wrong. So there are a ton of different ways to approach it. And I use Edgar Allan Poe because at the end of The Telltale Heart, Poe doesn't write if there is a heart beating. Actually, this guy, and just for anybody who hasn't read the story, you probably should, but it's a story told from a perspective of a man who has an old man that's a neighbor with an eye that he doesn't like. So he unalives him and he puts him under the floorboard. And then 2 police officers come, and the guy has what can only be described as like a guilty manic episode. Mm-hmm. Or is it? Right? So that heartbeat that he's hearing, it never says in the story if it's a real heartbeat. And if you read up anything about Edgar Allan Poe, if you asked him, he'd probably sip his drink, look at you, and politely ask you why would he ruin the story by telling you if there's a heart, right? Or ask you how come you don't understand it. So discussions around that kind of stuff fascinate me. But if you take that analogy over to scripture, you can see, like I always say, like any moral, like especially with the Bible, any moral position you hold, whether it's something that you're for or against, you can probably find a scripture to back it up somehow if you squint your eyes and turn to the side.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't want to try to speak for you, but I kind of figured that was where you were going with it. Had something else for Jeff, but I kind of got lost after the Ezekiel bread stuff.
Poop bread.
Yeah, poop bread. I don't know. Just very, very good thing to read. I would also like to say that a good book for people who are deconstructing, I think, is I'm not telling you to get into Satanism. I'm just saying Revolt of the Angels is a very good work of fiction. And I highly recommend it if you're contemplating your individual interaction with deconstruction from a particular faith, because it makes some very good points. I don't think I have too much to add, really.
Okay. All right. So let's do this, Jeff. Usually I'll say, like, is there anything else for the panel? But did you have anything that you wanted to end the people on the panel with? Any final thoughts, questions, or whatever before we start to drop them down?
No, I think this was a good discussion. And I think we could do more Q&A if we have like when we cycle everybody out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions for Jeff from anyone on the panel before we go ahead and start to drop you guys down?
I have a quick comment. I would just say a lot of us are.
Hold on 1 second. Let's start with Somali. Somali's been waiting. Go ahead, Somali.
Sorry,
honestly, mine is not as serious. I think Darkly is, but I just want to understand, why do you think satanic religions have a lot of poop breads and camel pee? I really had to understand that. Like, it's something I did not understand for quite a while. Like, Islam has the same thing.
I can answer that. Because they used to be on their Bear Grylls back then. And so when they wrote the books, they were, man versus wild in it. Or at least that's what I like to think. Jeff, what's the real answer?
That's exactly it. When you're nomadic in the desert, you got to figure out what to do with your emissions. That's foreshadowing. The word emissions is actually foreshadowing. Y'all don't know that.
Okay. Darkly, you had something you were about to Throw Jeff's away. Oh, you're muted.
I was just saying a lot of us don't call in regularly, so if we weren't fiddling with technology and trying to figure out if we were doing the correct thing, we'd probably be a little bit more on spot with the questions. And I did have a question for Jeff. Are you doing anything of note in the near future that you wanted to say to look out for? I looked at your site. I just haven't fully explored it.
Most of the content I'm going to be working on in the near future is going to be somewhere between YouTube and Twitch, but you'll see clips here on TikTok, and I'm always going to be floating around. So follow me on everything, and you'll be able to, and especially if you're in the Discord, you'll always know what's coming up next.
Okay. That's all I had to ask.
All right.
And thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to cycle everyone out. I appreciate you all coming up and hanging out and spending a little time with us.
I appreciate both of you. Jeff, thank you for everything. Awesome. Every education you gave me. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So it is actually t-shirt time, but I do have something that I want to get into before we get to t-shirt time. Chat, do we want to read from King James or NIV? Which one do you guys want? King James or NIV? What are we doing? I see one for King James, two for King James, one for NIV. King James. All right, I think we're doing King James.
Somebody said Trump Bible.
I don't think they probably do have this in the Trump Bible. They probably actually do have this in the Trump Bible. All right. So let's take a look. This is Ezekiel 23, 19 through 21. Dang it, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, we can put both of them up here. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. All right, and do this.
I'm going to send you one to read after.
Oh, it's not. Oh, we got to do one at a time. All right, this is King James Version. All right, Jeff. Ready?
If we must.
You got to read it.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me pull it up on my side.
Yeah, she multiplied her whoredoms. What's a whoredoms? She multiplied her whoredoms and called.
Let's just say,
and calling to remembrance the days of her youth.
We've got to pull so many books off of school shelves for their filth. Wherein she had played the harlot in the land of Egypt, for she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, whose issue is like the issue of horses. Yes, issue is what you think it is, and flesh is.
Hold on,
also...
don't tell them because we're gonna flip over to NIV next.
Okay, cool.
You got to read 21.
Oh, thus thou callest to remembrance the lewdness of thy youth, in bruising thy teats by the Egyptians for the paps of thy youth.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So now let's do this.
Late night with Santana.
You already know. Where's the NIV? Hold on, where NIV go? Hold on. NIV. And there it is. All right, guys. Let me make it bigger. That's what she said. All right. Yet she became more and more promiscuous as she recalled the days of her youth when she was a prostitute in Egypt. There she lusted after her lovers whose genitalia were like those of donkeys and whose emissions were like those of horses. So you long for the lewdness of your youth when in Egypt your bosom was caressed and your younger breasts fondled.
Take that.
Yes. That is what it says.
What kind of schmut is in the Bible? This is your book. This is your holy book. This is what you want us to read. No, and just FYI, I'm gonna stop for a second because Jeff got another one for us. So hold on. What kind of smut is this? All right, let's go to the. They talking about donkey dick in the Bible. What are we doing? Hold on.
The donkey flip flops.
Jeez, Louise. Oh, okay, hold on. Deuteronomy 23. Okay, hold on. All right, Jeff, I'm going to put it back on the screen and then you can do King James and then I'll do NIV.
All right, let me pull up my KJV here.
Okay. Because it sounds classy when you do it.
So we're for anybody following the bouncing ball at home, we're doing Deuteronomy 23, 12 to 14. And it just shows you that, all powerful. Thou shalt have a place also without the camp, whither thou shalt go forth abroad. And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon, and it shall be when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee. For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp to deliver thee, and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee.
Okay. So there's a lot of these and all this other stuff. Let's see what it actually says. Let's read and see what it actually says. All right. Designate a place outside of the camp where you can go to relieve yourself. As a part of your equipment, you have something to dig with, and when you relieve yourself, dig a hole and cover up your excrement. For the Lord your God moves about in your camp to protect you and deliver your enemies to you. Your camp must be holy, so that he will not see amongst you anything indecent and turn away from you. You got to go shit outside the camp, guys. You cannot shit in the camp. You got to go dig a hole and poop in the hole away. They said, you cannot blow up the camp. Go dig a hole, cross yonder and poop there.
if you hotbox God, he leaving.
The only way Jesus is leading you to victory is if you go poop outside the camp.
Don't be boo-booing in the middle of the war, man, because he out.
Not Jesus leaving you for bowel movements.
Oh, shit. Yo, but if you eat Ezekiel bread, it's all fiber. So what else you gonna do? You gonna be dropping some deuces in the middle of the war camp, and then you lose.
I bet you those bowel movements they had back then was foul too, because they was probably eating like raw meat, and it's like the plague and stuff. Oh my God. That's why you had to leave the camp, because of the stuff that you was eating back then. Everyone, they talk about processed food now, wasn't processed back then. So I know it had to be what is it? What is that called? What is it? Dang it. They call it like deer meat. What is it?
Oh, venison?
No. It's a word when it gamey. There's some gamey poop.
Oh, yeah.
It had to be gamey poop. Yep. Yep. Definitely gamey poop. All right, Jeff. We kind of took like a whole I don't know where we went.
Look, I'll give you a free one. 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 29 starts with the phrase, "So then we cooked my son and ate him."
Say it again. What is it?
2 Kings chapter 6, verse 29 starts with the sentence, "So then we cooked our son and ate him."
2 Kings what?
Chapter 6, verse 29. That's a free one. That one is free.
All right, let's just look at the NIV then. Hold on. So we cooked my son and ate him. The next day I said, "Give up your son so we may..." God. What? "Give up your son so we may eat him, but she had hidden him." What is this? What is happening in the Bible book?
Now, all right. This is the last one. But I gave you just that verse because this is what happens, right? I'll give a verse and somebody will be like, "You're taking it out of context." So I want to play the context game with everybody. Everybody in the chat, do this, all right? Look at that verse, and I want you to think of anything you want. Use your imagination and give me any context that you can that makes this not goofy, weird stuff. So, like, anything you want. You could Aesop's fables and stuff. You could anything you want, and hit me with the context that makes this not goofy and weird. And make it holy. Like, make it holy, and then it's not goofy. Because somebody, I'm gonna do this verse at some point, and somebody gonna be like, "Jeff, you're just taking it out of context." Look, we don't need to read the rest of the chapter. I will grant you any context you want. Just drop it in there, and we'll see if it's holy still.
Maybe they were on an island.
You would cook your son and eat him on an island, Santana?
But I know a bunch of billionaires that would.
True. True.
Yeah, this is wild. All right. Let's try to land this plane, Joe. Like, I feel like we kind of crashed it.
That's the last one.
No. I mean, like, actually, let's bring this back to, like, make it sound smart to wrap it up. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, fix it, Jeff. Fix the whole live now.
All right. I'll say something smart. Look, I say stuff about the Bible because that's the thing that rules us, right? You could also find weird stuff in the Quran. You could find weird stuff in the Hindu Vedas. You could find, like, look, did you know that Krishna said that everybody else is going to worship other gods, but they're just worshiping him? They're just doing it wrong. That Krishna said that's weird stuff, right? Every religion.
Wait, he said, wait, say it again.
So Krishna said to Arjuna, I think he's speaking to somebody named Arjuna, saying, hey, other people, they worship other gods, but they're just mistaken. They're actually worshiping me. They're just doing it wrong.
If that is not a narcissist, holy smokes. Okay, sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
That's in Hinduism. Look, when you talk about Buddhism, you're the cause of your own suffering. Like, man, I gotta eat, right? Like, if I'm hungry, I'm not the cause of that. There's no food. I actually had a conversation with somebody you and I know today, just before this live, and I told them, yeah, the Buddha, he was a Nepo baby. And the person I was on the phone with looked it up and was like, oh, snap, he was a Nepo baby. And so Buddhism is what happens when a Nepo baby encounters poor people for the first time and goes, why are they all mad? So the whole point of all of this,
I can't
this
eat,
4-day,
and you got the power to change that.
Yeah, look, this dude left his estate and went and did the Enlightenment thing. Never once said, hey, mom and dad, why don't you give up your dough? But I say all that to say deconstruction is complicated. Religions are complicated. The people who make them up are, I think, weird, but there's a reason for all of this stuff. This is just people interacting with their environment, including myself. Like, I'm just a product of my environment. I'm just a little, I guess, weirder when I do it. But for anybody going through deconstruction, I want you, if you take anything away from this, it's the deconstruction process is for you. It's not for anybody else. The quest for truth that we're all on, that's for us. That's where we say, okay, what are the standards that we're using to come to truth? What are the best methods that we can, all of that stuff. But your personal deconstruction journey, that's for you. Set your boundaries. They're yours to enforce. Read, learn stuff, take a mental health inventory, get therapy. Every single person, I don't care how mentally strong you think you are, every single person, go get some therapy. It's worth it. Yeah, just make sure that you are in control of your own journey. Yeah. How was that?
I think it was good. I think it was good and insightful. And I think it's something that a lot of people need to understand. And like the young guy said it earlier before he left, he's like, whatever your reason is, make sure it's the reason for you. And like, I think you just doubled and tripled down on that. And like, I think that everyone goes through different journeys in their life and they find the things that they need in order to make their life livable because, life sucks, Jeff. And like, I understand why people cling to religion in the sense that it's not, well, I understand that like clinging to religion is comfortable. It's safe. It's safe, Jeff, because a lot of times it gives people the ability to like not have to control every aspect of their life and say like, hey, I'm responsible for everything that happens. But it also gives people some sense of solace as far as saying like, you know what, if I had lived this type of life, then one day, maybe my life would be way better. But I think that people hold on to what they need in order to make it through life. And then when they don't need that anymore, then they let it go. And I think that's what this has been about, right? Understanding what aspect you are in life or where you are in life and how does that move you or how you should actually continue to grow. And I think at a certain point, everyone gets to a spot where it's time to let go of things that you learned at a certain age and start to really think deeper and grow and be better. So I think this was a great week to have this conversation. It was really fun to hear things from like different perspectives, hear about a lot of religions that I didn't even know about, but to learn and grow as well in like understanding the importance of what deconstruction is. I think when we first started at the beginning of the week, it was a lot of people that was mad because, you know, they basically thought we were saying down with Jesus. But it really shaped out to be a lot of people showing or sharing like personal experiences and connections and highlighting one thing that I always say, and I said it at the beginning of the week and I'll say it again. People use their religion as a sword to harm people instead of a shield to protect people, which, you know, most religions claim that they, you know, you're supposed to do good things and be good people, but yet the people using the religion weaponize it. So it was really good to hear a spectrum of voices and different people in different places and spaces. And I'm really happy that we finally got to do this.
Me too. I had a lot of fun. I'll leave you with this last little thing. It's Euthyphro's dilemma, since you mentioned good, right? Mm-hmm. Euthyphro's dilemma is a thought experiment from Greek philosophy about originally is about what it means to be pious, but we've adapted it now to be what it means to be good. And so the question that you should ask yourself is something good because God said it's good, or is there goodness and God just says good things? So I'm not gonna analyze both prongs of that.
I can answer that.
Okay.
Jeff. Okay, hold on. I can answer that, but I need some help. Let me see. Give me a second here. Let's see. I'm scrolling through to see who's here. Who do I want to pick on? Coach Dougie Dog, if you can come up for a second. Coach Dougie Dog, if you can come up for a second. I don't know if you can all come up. I sent you an invite. If you can come up for a second. Coach Dougie Dog.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Hey.
All right.
Hey. God is good.
Oh, damn. Having a brain fart.
All the time.
What?
That's what it was. Yeah. My bad. I had a brain fart.
Say all the time.
All the time.
I was gonna say, nah. And all the time, chat.
God is good.
Yeah, no, I was gonna try to do it, but he let me down. Dang it, Coach. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. We missed that one, Jeff. My bad. Jeff. One thing that I don't think that we've talked enough about, and I would be remiss because one, like I've really enjoyed this entire week. I've really enjoyed being able to learn from you. I always learn so much from you, and I really appreciate you spending time in our space and like carrying this conversation. For those who don't know, and Jeff, like, not only did Jeff guide the conversation and do the majority of the lifting, but Jeff put together a lesson plan for us this week, right? I mean, it is multiple levels of information and education, and really wanted to make sure that we had a solid foundation for this entire week and this entire conversation. And I think it's allowed us to have one of like the most successful weeks that we've had here on late nights. I mean, I want to say sorry to all the people that didn't get a chance to join the conversation, because I was like, I kept telling management, I was like, I feel bad. Like, Jeff, every night we got like anywhere from 11 to 15 people waiting at the end of the night. And I'm like, holy smokes, I feel bad that we can't get all the people in. So it's been a really successful week, and it's been because of your guidance. But Jeff, tell the people, because like this is late nights and we're going to have a different topic next week, but you know where you can have this topic and so much more at? Endofaspecies.com. Tell them about it, Jeff.
So endofaspecies.com, that's where you find everything about the stuff that moves me, everything that is like if you enjoyed the conversations we had, you'll see more of that there. The smoothie spot, I say that on TikTok. I'm referring to TWITCH, but I call it the smoothie
we just
spot.
say stuff here. You can say Twitch.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I've been talking to Twitch all night.
Yeah. So like the smoothie spot is my nickname for Twitch. Over there, we are going to start breaking down games as if they're smoothie ingredients. That's another thing I'm working on. Everything about End of a Species is trying to help you be a better thinker, a better reasoner, a better observer of reality. If you're up for that, come on down. You'll learn a lot. And it's not just religion. Like, we talk about all sorts of things. But also, it is a way to prove me wrong. It's a way to prove me wrong. I've had this hypothesis of the fact that the species is over for quite a bit. And I'm hoping I'm wrong and I see a change. And I think learning how to use logic and reason is the best way to it. Education is the very first step. So come on down. We'll have a lot of fun.
All right, Jeff. Well, I think it's time we hit that old dusty trail. Oh wait, W's in the chat for Lily. Lily sent a $5 donation saying, "Thanks for having me on. I struggle." No, you didn't struggle, Lily. You did a great job. You did a great job. I'm going to skip that second part. Guys, stop being so freaking hard on yourself when you come up here. Like, the one thing, Jeff, and I think like you and I may take this for granted because like we're chronically online or whatever, but it's hard to hop on panel in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And there's like, people are so hard on themselves when they come up here. Like, we do this every day, but it's not a normal thing for everyone else, right?
Like everything else, it takes getting used to. Look, I'm gonna tell you, even though I've done a ton of speaking, I've done a ton of writing. First time I was on a live, I was nervous. I'm sure the first time you were on a live, you were nervous because you don't know what to expect.
Absolutely.
It happens to everybody. I think I saw a question: do I promote the Socratic method? Yes, all the time. But I don't really believe that Socrates was real. So that's a separate conversation for another day.
Yeah. Okay. Let me finish reading out Lily's message. Lily said, "You really do have the world's best chat. I really do. Best chat on TikTok. I don't care what nobody say. W's in the chat. W's for Santana and W's for Jeff for creating a space in a community like this where you can listen, learn, and sit with the discomfort. It's super important. Super important. W's in the chat for Lily. Thank you so much for that that $5 donation. One last quick thing. Someone said, "Hey Santana, did they post who your Surrounded video is with this weekend?" So long story short, no. Long story short, no. They had something. I think they was changing something with like the trailer. They put out the trailer, but then they took the trailer down, and so some people might have seen it and may already know, but they They temporarily had the trailer up and they had to take it down because they're changing some stuff with the trailer. I got a video ready to go. As soon as they put out the final green light, I'm going to publish the video. You guys are going to be blown away with who we did the surrounded video with. So anyway, Jeff, ready to call it?
Rock and roll.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late nights, truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams and the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures, but the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late nights with Santana. Yeah, Mama Jones watching, so keep it roll. Ain't about flexing, it's a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot, but we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah, late nights with Santana.
Not Jeff singing this song. Hey, W's in the chat for Jeff. W's in the chat for the chat. Guys, it's been a really fun week. It's been really exciting. I appreciate the HE double hockey stick out of you, Jeff, for coming up and spending time with us. Guys, remember, follow Jeff. Follow Jeff. He's absolutely amazing. Make sure you show him love. Make sure you support him. Make sure you get over to endofthespecies.com and check out the Extinction Files. I'm telling you, it's worth it. You guys, it was a great week, but you know what? We're going to get active for the rest of the week. That's right. Sparring in the morning. Let's get after it. It's going to be fun. Guys, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, chat. Thank you all. Thank you for all the gifts, the taps, the likes, the shares. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for being absolutely amazing. Thank you for just a wonderful week. I love you all. And as always,